There's a video that we should put on our Facebook page that shows Michael Jordan playing playoff basketball.
Against himself?
No. There's like it's just some of his plays. And people forget how rough it was to play professional basketball in the 90s. As in, he went through one time and the guy grabbed a hold of his shoulder as he was in the air and threw him to the ground. And it was just a foul.
Right.
Layups in the playoffs, they were, come in this house at your own risk sort of thing. Now, they lay on the floor and cry, that's just these are the things we can talk about.
Right.
So this is the professional sports part for the home team 512.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you ready in there? Okay. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the home team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we are about to say, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing your American dream. So, well, everyone, we were right. It wasn't a penicillin shot that kept him out, but Wyatt was not feeling well last week, but he is back in the saddle today, ready to go. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bug running around. And
it's called allergies. It's cedar.
Okay. Yeah. Well, wait till you get it, and then you'll have a difference of opinion.
And I'm just telling you, it's hitting everybody. Yeah. It's cedar, for sure.
Thank you, Doctor. There you go. Well, thank you, Doctor. Troy.
I just go by Troy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, like Dr. Pole. I'm
right.
Dr. Troy.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes. I work on human animals instead of four-legged animals.
That's
It's a big difference. It's been a wild ride for the NBA. That's just
the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, 3 years.
3 years. Yeah, they've had their ups and their downs.
Mm-hmm. They've had their ups and their downs, and they had a good run this year as far as viewership and things. It went back up.
And lo and behold, there wasn't much politics in it. That's so weird,
man.
Right?
So
keep politics out, you might get some more viewers.
Yes,
yeah.
We discussed that. That was something that I had said probably was something, but there wasn't a lot of politics in the professional basketball, and so but they also had some big names too. I mean, Miami, that's a big city. LA's a big city. Denver's a big city. Boston, big city. I mean, so they had big names playing in the playoffs. Whereas Golden State has created a big following. It's not that big. It's not, it's not a big basketball program other than the last few years. So when you get LA and Boston kind of back into it, you get a lot of, generational lifelong fans. So there's been that, which is good for that. But again, I think it has more to do with the product on the display was basketball this year, which was exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd lost interest because it just became too much for me. My life's full enough. I don't need to flip on my getaway time and have to re-engage,
Right.
But then, LeBron James. And a top round draft pick, Davis, did not play well in the conference finals.
Now, did you watch every game from start to finish?
I just read the box scores and stuff.
I go back and watch the highlights.
Yeah.
Right, I'll do the ESPN highlights. But I don't watch the game.
Yeah, and I read the box scores and stuff. But again, it is more so. I'm slower to leave. I'm also slower to return, right? So, I held on to professional basketball a little bit longer than most people. And then, so now I'm kind of waiting. And the same thing with football and professional baseball.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Well, yeah, I'm waiting to make sure that they have officially moved past it. Like, I'm 100% sure that football has moved past politics, and now they're back into playing football. So I'm watching other games, right?
They got it.
Baseball, kind of the same way. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people, activists, and there's activists in everything, doing things outside of the game, and I'm 100% support that. But when I flip on the television to watch a baseball game, I want to watch a professional athlete perform at his top. That's what I want to watch.
Right.
I don't want to watch all this other stuff, and so with that brings because we're probably at the very end of Mr. James's
career. You think? He's got a little bit more in him, I think. Well, he already said that he's going to play with his son.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 more years.
Right.
So
he's,
and again, but that doesn't mean he's actually playing.
He said he wants to be on the same team, on the same court with his son. So we got him for another 3 years.
But that doesn't mean he's actually playing. He could just be kind of running out there and falling apart and everything. We're at the end of his career.
You're saying he's at the top of his pinnacle as an athlete.
And I think that's, he could turn the switch on this late in the season. And he's been able to do it. And so he just couldn't. He was out of gas. He just didn't have what it took towards the end of the season. And and he's been doing this too long to not know how to turn the switch on.
He's played a long time. And the whole comparison to him and Jordan, him losing out this time kind of puts him out of the. Because he's lost more than he's been in, and Michael didn't lose many playoff games, and/or championships, right? When they got there, he went. And
you have to think Michael Jordan in the middle of his career took 3 years off.
Right.
He won won like 3 championships, took 3 years off, and then won 3 more.
Right.
Or 2 more. So.
Well, it states that. Jordan, I think, played a total of like 1,072 games that I'm reading right here on ESPN. And LeBron is at over 1,500 games.
Yeah, he played twice as many games. So, but he does have, there is a longevity in things like this.
Right.
Some of the guys from the 60s and 70s played a long time, and so they, Jerry Rice played forever. So there is a longevity sort of reward in history for professional athletes, because staying healthy is part of the.
Sure.
It's part of the.
And those are records. Doesn't matter how many games you play. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Right? Agreed.
Now, if prime, the question, it's always ifs. If prime Jordan and prime LeBron played each other, my humble personal opinion is that LeBron would run home and cry to his mama about how mean Michael was to him.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
I saw on highlights, and I'm going to find this one of these days. I'm going to post it up on the Facebook page at the Home Team 512 of Michael Jordan playing basketball in the playoffs in the 90s. And it was brutal what they did to him. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure he did it to others, but I'm just saying. But it was brutal basketball. It was borderline.
Are you talking about back then as far as
rugby
rules,
football?
Rules and regulations.
Rugby football.
It's a lot more. Yeah, you didn't have these falling on the ground and holding your knee like LeBron does.
Yeah. And
no offense, but he does the whole.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game now.
Flopping is part of the game, and like Colton, he likes to remind me that Manu Ginobili was the one that brought it to the league, and that was one of my faves. So it's part of the game. And
so, if you see it works for somebody else, you have to start coaching. Like, wait a minute, they won last night because they were at the line. 75% more than we were. How is that? You look at the tape like,
they had 8 charges, we had 2.
Daniel Ginobili, so you have to. That's where it progresses to. It makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But but same era. Now LeBron physically could have handled playing basketball in the 90s. I have no doubt. Mentally, I don't know if he could have handled basketball in the 90s.
It's one of those things. I think he could because he'd have to, right? It's all about if you're there.
There are a lot of basketball players that didn't make it in the 90s because it was just too physical for them.
Yeah. And they just gave up.
Yeah, and so who knows?
LeBron's a big dude.
Yeah.
So
I
think pushing him to shove, I think he could.
Anybody who flops from a Derek Fisher, I just don't think could survive a game in the playoffs in basketball in the 90s. I'm sorry.
I think at the end of the day, we'll never know, right?
Right, we'll never know. We'll have this discussion for a long time,
right.
And 10 years from now, LeBron, the older I get, the better I was,
right.
Sort of thing.
Right.
And so LeBron's his status will elevate 10 or 15 years after retirement, and he and Michael will be even, in my opinion. Right now, it's no. But I saw Michael Jordan play. I saw LeBron play.
And we did, everyone at our age group did. So we're about to get out of here, but real quick, they're close in stats all the way up until playoffs.
Yeah.
And when it comes to playoffs, Jordan just soars up above LeBron. So when it comes down to it, Jordan takes it home. So that's where it's at right now.
Jordan is a winner.
And so is LeBron, but not as much as Michael Jordan.
Hey, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you heard. If you have any questions about anything we just said, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing your American dream. We'll see you in just a minute. Man. Dude, you're coughing so loud it's coming through my microphone.
That's why I wait till the end.